Back to normal life. But yeah, over the break, not too much happened. But like I said, I went viral. So I thought I would talk about this just because it's something that I've always wanted to do. If you follow me on social media, you will have no doubt have been beaten over the head with it that I accomplished this because I was bragging about it nonstop. So I was going to bed. It was actually funny. I was laying in my bed. It was like 12:30. And I was texting my friend Jill. I forget what we were talking about, and then somehow I think we were talking about penguins. I forget how that came up. And just before I went to bed, I saw this story on my Twitter feed that was retweeted by one of my friends, and it was just like an adorable photo of like four photos of these penguins, like hugging each other, basically, like kind of leaning on each other. And there was a nice little story about how one of the penguins had lost its mate a year ago or 2 years ago, and the other one lost its mate the next year, and so they're now just by themselves. And apparently they gather at this little dock every night, and they just hold hands or hold flippers or whatever they have, and watch the ocean together. And it was a nice little story, and I wasn't even trying to be funny or even interesting. It was just a comment in my head. I just said, I replied to it. I said, but really they both conspired and murdered their partners so that they could finally be together. They meet here every night, hoping their bodies don't resurface. It was a throwaway comment. I wasn't trying anything with it. I wrote it and went to bed. But the thing is, I took a screenshot of it to send to my friend who I was texting because we just happened to be talking about that, or it had something to do with what we were talking about. So I have a screenshot of the tweet with zero, of my response and the original tweet with just zero things on my phone, zero likes, and I went to bed, fell asleep. And when I woke up, I didn't notice right away because I didn't notice anything on my phone, but I opened Twitter and I had there was 5,000 likes. And at first I did a double take. I was like, wait, is this my tweet? Sure enough, I was like, oh man, this is my tweet. There was hundreds of retweets, 100 comments and 5,000 likes. And I was like, oh man, that's great. That's as I was reading it, it was just nonstop. People were liking it, retweeting. And the grand total now, as of January 10th, I'm recording this early in the month. Usually I wait till the end of the month, but I realized that because I'm doing the awards as my topic, I don't need to wait the entire month to get a bunch of topics because I'll have enough to fill it already. But yeah, as of January 10th, it has 18.9 thousand, almost 20,000 likes. And then there's 970 retweets and 264 comments. That's definitely my record-breaking tweet. And I was complaining online because I feel like I have some decent tweets. I don't try too hard these days anymore. I don't really use social media that much in terms of output. I mostly just consume stuff now. But I do think I have some pretty good tweets overall, and some of them I do think they deserve to be viral. Here's our first siren of the year. I was going to edit it out. I was going to stop recording, but because it's the first one of 2021, let's give it a listen. I don't know if you can even hear it yet. I think you can. I think it's going to stop early. Yeah. I'm getting good at calling those. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I do think I have some good tweets that do deserve some attention. And this is definitely not one of them. And but I'll take it. So if you don't know, I've especially 10 years ago, I loved Twitter. I've always loved Twitter. It's always been my favorite social media platform. I just enjoy it a lot. And one of my goals was always to get a viral tweet. And I've come close a couple times. Last year I had 2018, I had a Tetris tweet go get a couple thousand likes. But this is the first time that it went nuts. And the crazy thing is that I guess that's how it happens. Like, people always say they just write something without like they're just writing. It's not even something they think is that big deal. And it seems to always be those ones that blow up. It's the ones you're not even thinking about. Thankfully, this was not a crazy, a crazy controversial tweet. But like there was the famous, I think one of the very first. There's another siren. They're stopping right outside my apartment, so there's going to be a lot of sirens. I think we'll talk through it, or will we? It's really hard. But there was that famous story of that woman who tweeted something, got on a plane, and then by the time she landed, she had lost her job because her tweet that she sent right before the flight went viral, and people didn't like it. And by the time the flight was over, she was like fired, and everyone hated her and stuff. And I forget what the tweet was even about. But yeah, but the thing that I found interesting, I had a lot of observations. First, it's really cool. Like it is the ultimate dopamine high. Like if you think getting a couple likes is good, getting 20,000 likes is even better. It's really obsessing. It's very addicting and dangerous, because I realized if I was a famous person, every tweet I tweeted would get that. Like you would get 20,000 likes all the time and hundreds of comments all the time. It would be so hard to not just sit on Twitter all day and talk to strangers and just like say things and get the admiration and tons of comments and stuff. I could see that being very addicting. And so I thought maybe it's a good thing that I've never gotten anywhere with this in the last 10 years, because I might just not do any work ever and only do that. And you're not even doing anything. You're just reading. You're just staring at the number going up and up and seeing the comments and interacting with it. And it was funny. Like the comments were really funny, the people that were replying. But that was the first thing I thought of, was like, wow, this is really addicting and potentially dangerous in terms of how addicting it is. But I was like, it's my first time. It may never happen again, so I'm going to enjoy it. So I just did that all day. I would just stare at my phone, watching the notifications. Like it was nonstop. Like not a millisecond would go by without a new notification. Like 5 at a time, just constantly. The second interesting thing I found was that was like that's just a sentence. Like that's not even a joke. It's not even like a controversial opinion. It's not an edgy joke. It's not even an edgy sentence. It's just a sentence. And even that caused absurd amounts of divisiveness. And I couldn't believe it, because like it was written purely as just a throwaway comment, and obviously not, it wasn't mean. It was just a thing that it was just a funny little thing. Cause the penguins do look suspect. If you look at them in a different light, if you look at it framed in the way that I wrote it, the penguins do actually look a little bit suspect. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's the amount of people that were truly offended that I would frame an adorable moment between two penguins as being criminals. Like, can you like? It's a fictional comment. Like it's like basically making a TV show out of these penguins, and people were actually offended that I would dare say that penguins would murder their loved ones. Like it was so crazy. And there were so many people. My favorite thing was that this one girl said, "Oh, you must be real fun at parties." And then everyone started saying, "Yeah, this guy would be great at parties because he's making a joke." But then the thread went on forever with everyone was like just disagreeing with this girl. She got a lot of likes for her comment, but she got a ton. Like I think every one of her comments writing to her were all saying like she's an idiot. And I think her name surprisingly was Karen, which I'll talk about in a second. But this thread was hilarious because this had already been going on, because this happened while I went to bed. So on the other side of the world, there was all these people. This is what I found to be so funny, because like I'm sleeping here in Canada, and halfway across the world, wherever it's daytime, there's like dozens of strangers who've never met me who are arguing over who would be more fun at a party. I found that to be so hilarious and interesting that strangers would take the time. Like, it was the same people going back and forth arguing, like, oh no, this guy's great, and like, no, he's not, and, yeah, he is, and like, it was just funny to have people standing up for me over how fun I would be at a party, and just it's just ridiculous, actually. But third observation, the amount of people, and this is no joke, these weren't ironic, they were legitimate people named Karen, and all of the Karens, if you're not familiar, obviously by now you must know that Karen was like a meme essentially last year. Like, it was just there's Karen compilations, just always people named Karen that are always kind of ruining, you know, they're always kind of the Debbie Downers, people named Karen, but it's a meme. It's not supposed to be real. And everyone named Karen in this who would comment were always such downers. They're always like, oh, how dare you say something that crazy? And like, I gotta find one of these comments here. I can't find it. Someone wrote to me though saying like it was so over dramatic. They were like, this is the problem with society. This comments like this that are tearing the fabric of our humanity apart. I'm like, what? Like, at worst, it's like a delightful sentence. Like, it's not even like I truly, like, I say some really insane, like really, I guess a lot of my jokes can be gross or I don't know what the right word is, just off color or dark. Dark, I guess, is my humor brand, I guess. But I can say some offensive jokes as well sometimes. But this is not one of them. This is not offensive in the slightest, and it's so crazy that people were still offended by it. So I can't even imagine. Like, imagine if you did tweet something political or something that was controversial or something that had some kind of hard stance. I can't imagine how much rage you would get back from people. But I can't find, I'm scrolling through it right now, but I can't find, most of them are positive. Like, everyone knows it was just a stupid comment, and most people, I brought a smirk or a smile to their face. One woman was like, just like, shut up. And I wanted to be like, well, I could shut up for you, or I could make 20,000 people smile. So I think I'll stick with the latter there. But it was fun. It was cool to go through. It was a goal of mine to get a viral tweet. I want to do it again. I'm trying already. There was a big Arnold Schwarzenegger video that came out today, so I wrote a bunch of tweets about that, but none of them went viral. I thought I had some good ones too. I thought some decent jokes, but none of them took off. It's tough. I feel like the trick is, like, you'd have to do, I don't know. I don't know what the trick is. It's weird. I don't know how to explain why that one took off and why other ones don't. There's really no rhyme or reason to it, I guess. But that was that. That was. Hey, thank you very much for listening to this clip from my audio blog. If you've enjoyed that and want access to the full episode, head over to patreon.com/CooperBebo. I'm an actor, writer, and producer of film, television, and video games, and as such, I like to talk about all of those things as well. I post new episodes every week where I talk about anything and everything that I feel like, as well as updates on my projects I'm working on. It's a lot of fun. Would love to see you over there. If you know of any games I should play or something I should watch, just head over there and let me know. Thanks again. Bye.